Oh my god, it actually happened. A complete stranger wrote to me and asked me to cast his replay. This is a total first for me. I'm finding this delightfully validating, so I better not screw this up. It's the rare GVG Genetron versus Genetron. Last time we cast one of these, we got double cheese and it was a real spectacle. This time I do not know either of these players, but I like their choice of race. But I'll tell you one thing about our Genetron player in red. He's never been at ground level in his life because he's Subterran! Our orange Genetron in the bottom left is so popular. He appears in both the New and Old Testament. He is Joseph! Joseph is open with double processing nodes. That's gonna really buff the energy regeneration rate of his processing core. Translation, his command center is gonna get its energy faster. Both players getting to work on their manufacturer. That's that initial production facility. Our map is gonna be the good old 16-bit. Both players get that backdoor pocket expansion. A very safe expansion in the early game, vulnerable to air in the mid to late. You'll probably recognize the map's tile set from Curious Minds. Oh, Subterran's manufacturer has an aggressive rally point on it. Since he doesn't have an uploader, we know he's making Spitfires. Spitfires. They look like Hellions, but they act like Marines. And they are so popular amongst Genetron players. I think the reality is the Spitfire is the Genetron's only gasless option. And early on, the Genetron needs a lot of gas for a lot of buildings. But the 100 hit points for 100 minerals certainly doesn't hurt. Oh, there's our first mining priority. The harvesters get all glowy, but it doesn't make them mine faster like a Chiron Energize does. Instead, they mine an extra mineral with each trip. Their carrying capacity increases. So just like with muling, it does mean that you're gonna mine out your minerals faster. Our opening Spitfires are out. We have combat units, people. Subterran to the north is definitely looking to scout with his. Joseph is as well. Are they gonna meet in the middle, or are we gonna have two ships passing in the night? And that's what mining priority looks like if you are orange. But you probably guessed that. Spitfires do have the same range as a Marine, but they do slightly more damage, 7 instead of 6. Joseph starts up an outfitting station. That's your eBay, lets you get your upgrades and unlocks turrets. Subterran thinking about making a play for the ramp. He goes for it. Joseph's gonna get some free shots on him. Oh, but he goes down the ramp. That's gonna let Subterran right inside. Subterran's gonna pull off the scout. Until they get their speed upgrade, Spitfires are pretty slow. Oh, Subterran's gonna get the kill on that worker building the outfitting station. That's a first blood. Joseph will get revenge. He will kill that scout. Note that he did pull back his own scout in order to defend. That's too bad, because as we can see, Subterran is gambling. He's building no defenses at all. Instead, he's tech jumping up to a fabricator and getting himself a pair of uploaders for his manufacturer. Those uploaders is what it's all about. They're kind of like add-ons that don't have to connect. The more you have, the more better units you unlock at that production facility. And at the same time, the more uploaders you have, the more you decrease the rate of production. And as you can see, you can swap them. Subterran just swung his uploader and hooked it over onto his fabricator. Meanwhile, Joseph gets the scout. He's unopposed in his opponent's base. He needs to go kill something. Subterran's caught with his pants down. He's expanding. He goes for the worker pull. Joseph retreats, costing his opponent valuable mining time. A mole pops out and the Spitfires immediately jump on it. Can they get it? Yes, they do. Big pickup for Joseph. That's 125 minerals, 100 gas. Not a cheap unit. And now he's pushing into that natural. Can he get some damage done? Subterran immediately starts building an Insider. Oh, that Spitfire stopped shooting. The ACRs take it down. Go workers, you rock. Subterran's got his own Spitfires now, so Joseph is gonna pull out of there. Not a lot of worker kills, but he pulled off the scout and he sniped a mole. I have to give thumbs up to Subterran for switching over to an Insider. Not only does it look cool like a 1980s Batmobile and cliff jump, it does bonus damage to light, which is, at this point, pretty much the entirety of Joseph's army. Not entirely true, he does have a blitzer now. That tank is your basic, well-rounded attacker. Joseph is now expanding in his backdoor pocket as well. And he's gonna try to catch up on tech by getting a fabricator. He didn't actually ever assign a worker to finish that outfitting station though. He might not have noticed that he lost that worker. Oh, I see, he wound up building a whole new one right next to it. And then from there he'll be able to build a repulsor, that's his ground turret. But Subterran's Insider is already here. There are jumping points he can use to get into that main. Or he can just take that ramp. Oh, the Insider is so deadly against Spitfires. It has that double attack that does double damage versus light. That's like quadruple damage against Spitfires. He snipes a bunch of them and then manages to get out while he's deep in the red, saving that Insider. I hope he repairs it. You'll notice the obvious third base expansion. It's been blocked by rocks. So if and when the players want to take it, they have to plan ahead. Look at this jump here. That's actually what I think he wanted to do to his opponent's main. Slip in there and then apply that bonus damage to his opponent's workers. Reaper jumps are cool, but Insider jumps are even cooler. I'm sorry, they just are. You are entitled to your opinion, of course. Yours just happens to be wrong. Oh, I think Subterran's gonna make me happy and he's actually gonna repair that Insider. Yes, he is. Yes, Zugzwang. It had nothing to do with the fact that it's an expensive unit near the end of its life. He did that specifically just to please you. Somehow I managed to make this game all about me. Subterran's got himself a worker lead of 10 and it's starting to show up in the income. Joseph making a mole. In addition to being one of the more interesting units in the game, it has a nice little damage bonus versus armor if that Insider ever comes back. Both players getting the upgrade for light weapons. Gives you a level 1 upgrade for everything that comes out of the manufacturer. But Subterran's also getting calibrated engines. That's that much needed speed upgrade for the Spitfire. There's almost like by design, there's a number of Genetron units that have a weakness that really needs an upgrade to be dealt with. The Spitfire's weakness is speed, and there's an app for that. Oh, Joseph's got himself a processing drone. You build that at the processing core. It's a detector, but does so much more. Subterran's pushing out. He's got 4 Insiders this time to go along with his 6 high-speed Spitfires. And a Blaze. Joseph's got his defenders, but he's looking a little undermanned here. Processing drone's gonna scout the attack. Did Joseph see it? I'm a little bit worried for Orange. Red's got good timing. He's gonna hit right as the third's under construction. It's macro versus unit composition, and macro wins almost every time. This third base denial is going to be big for Subterran. Subterran's third is up and running at this point. A very good recognition by Subterran. He kills the third and he pulls back. He avoids the mission creep. He doesn't overextend. He doesn't go into that main base. Joseph didn't have much of an army up in his main, but he did have the high ground and he had some turrets. Subterran's going with what worked. He's making more Insiders. He doesn't actually have any more light units to attack, really. At this point, Joseph's gone for armor. The reason they're working so well for him is not because they're efficient, but because he has so many of them. I gotta admit, though, that works too. Hold the phone, though. As soon as I say that, Subterran adds in a mole, and he's getting a Tesla. That's right, he's gonna go all Elon Musk here. He's looking to win this battle without any unnecessary carbon emissions. The Tesla is a weird and wacky unit, and I hope we get to see it in action. The Tesla's that 4-wheeler with a hole in its center. Actually, you'll see how that hole filled up with a red orb. That means he's building a shock charge. Yeah, Joseph's in trouble. His opponent's got 3 times the army, and he's beating him on tech now. Yeah, our orange player's trying to get up the courage to retake his third. You and I can see that it's wide open for the taking, but he's worried that he's got his opponent right at his gate. I do love that he's making equalizers. In the case of GVG, they might actually live up to their name. When it comes to ground attackers, those mechs are the king of anti-armor. They should be able to drill those Insiders. The only problem is that there's like a million of them. Oh, look what's happening here. The Teslas are now building cloak charges. Those are the blue orbs. That's the expensive charge. But you can use it to cloak your entire army. If Joseph doesn't have a turret up or he doesn't have his processing drone handy, he could be in trouble. Well, truth be told, I think he's in trouble whether this army's cloaked or not. Subterran pushes out and he takes his 4th while he's at it. Equalizers and moles. I like Orange's composition. He just needs 3 times as much of it. There's also a health upgrade for those equalizers, which Joseph doesn't have. You know how he's waxing on about how certain Genetron units have weaknesses that need upgrades to compensate? The equalizer's design weakness is its low health. Subterran's gonna hit before that turret finishes. Oh, those insiders I was criticizing are just drilling Joseph. The Tesla fires off the cloak charge. There's no detection. The moles just stopped firing. Oh, this is pretty decisive. It could be game. Joseph has almost no army left. He's gonna lose his third yet again. The cloak wears off and Joseph is able to fire from the high ground. But at this point, he is locked into his base. Oh, he almost got the Tesla. Subterran pulls back. I don't know that he needed to. Maybe he's trying to see if he can bait Joseph into coming down his ramp. We, of course, don't see what Subterran sees. We see everything. But it looks like he can just establish a contain and take the game from there. I see. He's going to do an air transition. Triple assembly arrays with a ton of uploaders to go with them. At 4 bases to 2, Subterran's pulling in way more money, and he's about to flex it. Joseph tries to take his third again. He realizes he really has no choice. It's possible Subterran will let him get it up because he's waiting for that air transition. He needs to sink those moles. There's also a cool upgrade for moles where they start to act like sensor towers. I don't know if that's a priority here, but it's really cool. Those Teslas are all reloaded with cloak charges. Orange either has to have an interdictor up, or he's gotta have his processing drone ready to cast detection. He is keeping it on site. There is an upgrade for the processing drone called Integrated Optics. It turns the drone into a permanent detector so it doesn't require spell energy anymore. Trying to keep one eye on those assembly arrays because I'm sure they're up to something, but as of right now, they're not building anything. Subterran decides against attacking the third again. Instead, he's going to patrol other base locations and see if there's anything else he needs to shut down. Subterran's upgrading heavily, but he's not building any units. Both our players have built up pretty sizable banks. And there it is, the triple arrays kick in. Subterran's making Jupiters. This is one of the sweetest things to watch in the Scion races. The Jupiter is a napalm bomber. Let's see if we can get a look at these ships here. They're pretty sexy. Bathing in red jello, out pops the Jupiter. They look a bit like stealth bombers or perhaps the Lockheed from the X-Men comics. They do not cloak though. Instead they have a flight power, kind of like a boosting medevac. Only unlike a medevac, they drop a bomb when they do it. So this is really shaping up to be a two-pronged attack. Subterran's main force is going to hit somewhere, probably that third, and the Jupiters are going to sneak in around the back. Yeah, this was the feint. He doesn't want to get shredded by the moles. He's just going to try to get as much of Joseph's attention as he can. Joseph's really managed to get his mole count up. That might keep him in this. Cloak charges go off, but the processing drone is here. I just don't think Subterran cares all that much if he is detected. Maybe he does because the moles have held. Or is Subterran just pulling back because he really wants to micro his Jupiters? Oh yeah, we gotta fit Rise of the Valkyries in here. This is very Apocalypse Now. There's that speed burst, that's what I'm talking about. Heavy duty area effect damage. Looks like he's lost about 20 workers so far. You have to have a worker pull, otherwise the harvesters keep moving through the flames and they eventually die. Joseph is just caught without any anti-air, and he is now paying the price. Subterran's gonna double down. He's making 3 more Jupiters. This is definitely in violation of the Geneva Convention. This is unrestricted carpet bombing. Joseph is not hitting the GG key. He's trying to make an assembly array. He's going to try to counter air with air. You gotta respect that level of moxie. First he had no army. Now he's got no workers. He did get his third base up, but Subterran's put down a 5th and a 6th. I hope you pilots know you're going to be standing trial for digital war crimes. And so now... Oh! Since Joseph can't exactly do the when behind Dark Shrine, he's gonna do the next best thing. He's gonna attempt the ninja expand. But Subterran's ahead of him. He's got a scout at that location. Talk about getting busted. 6 Jupiters spot that, and the ACR is gonna get busted. Spitfire is gonna take it out now, and unfortunately it actually put down the processing node. Oh, Joseph hits cancel and saves his 300. He needs it. Subterran's got a 5,000 mineral bank at this point. I think he's just waiting for those Jupiters to get enough energy. They can still bomb when they run out of energy, but they don't have any speed. Their real skill is the ability to drop the bomb and get out of there. Joseph's trying to get his anti-air together. He's building an Avenger. But will he have any workers left by the time it gets here? His main's largely mined out. So it's napalm on the gas. Oh, there's a worker pull, but the Jupiter's intercepted. The ACRs all travel through the flames. Oh, this has just turned into a massacre. Where is that Avenger? Here they are. There's two of them. That's a solid anti-air attack with a viable interception speed. Subterran actually needs to use the napalm attack to escape. But if he's not doing that, the Avengers should just gun them down. No, he's actually turning off. Oh, he did not want to let them get away. That was a possible chance for him to get back in this, wiping out his opponent's air force. He's got the counter. He's made a bunch of equalizers to try to hold his third. It's a fine choice, he just needs more. Oh, the Avengers are cutting to the right to try to protect the right side of his base. But Subterran has swung his Jupiter's left. Oh, that is as bad as it gets. The Teslas are back with more cloaked charges. Does Joseph have detection? Right now, Orange is focused on trying to rebuild his worker count. The moles have superior range. They're trying to zone red out. Oh, but the Jupiters swoop in on the death ball. Oh, that was fantastic. And then the rest of Subterran's force will just mop this up. There's a processing drone there, so I don't know if the cloak does anything, but it sure makes them look cool. Joseph has no army, no income. He's trying to hang on with a mole on the high ground. But here come the Jupiters again. It looks like the napalm strikes do stack, and all three moles are burned in the conflagration. And it's another carpet bomb on the third. This game is over. There is that GG. Lots of tenacity from our orange Genetron player, but he just got smoked. So this replay was actually sent to me by Joseph, the player who actually lost the game. I was pretty impressed. Not only did he lose, he got massacred. And it's a pretty brave dude who wants to share that with the public. He did so because he thought the game would help highlight a couple of units we often don't get to see too much of. And he was right. We got to see the Tesla pull off the cloak charge, and we got a good look at the Jupiter performing its bombing run. So I raise a glass to Joseph. Props to you, man. Next, a little confession here. I did get a bit of a spoiler because the name of the replay file was Jupiter Pounding. And the game did live up to that. We saw what the Genetron can do with air superiority. I mean, look at this. It's not just the damage, it's the speed with which it gets in and out. Joseph needed Torrents, the anti-air ground unit, or Interdictors, the air turret protecting his base. But in fairness, he was busy fending off attack waves from Insiders. I did do a mini tutorial on the Jupiter and how it works in this video here. I'll try to include it as the Kerrigan pick at the end of this video. Just skip to about the 9:20 mark. Anywho, coming up Sunday, 10 a.m., we got a killer best of 3 coming your way with pro players, so keep an eye out for that versus symbol. As always, thank you to the new subscribers, and thank you to the old ones. You guys keep me going. From my base to yours, Zugzwang out. Oh, just one last splash. To continue your StarCraft journey, Nova advises you to click the video in the upper rectangle. But Kerrigan warns you to watch your 6 and click the video in the bottom rectangle. Or you can stimpack your StarCraft experience. Subscribe to Zugzwang StarCraft. Just hit the circle. From my base to yours, Zugzwang out.